Hello all, welcome to Coffee with Marci. I am here with Rita Masini, Goettlicher, and she is here to talk to us about Cycle for Survival. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Marci. It's a day after Halloween.
Yes.
So I wanted to make sure I give you a Mimi cookie, another mompreneur who you support.
Yes.
And thank you for having me today. And it's orange in the color Cycle for Survival.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about Mimi really quick.
Mimi is a Wyckoff mom.
Yes.
Who was baking cookies out of her house and now owns her own place in, I want to make sure it's Waldwick on Prospect.
Yeah.
And makes the most amazing, delicious,
that is awesome.
and creative cookies.
I love a mompreneur.
Yeah.
So Cycle for Survival, you know, that is an incredible organization, and thank you for coming on. Thank you for reaching out to me. You know, there's quite a story how this all came about, and you went to high school with the founder, Jennifer Goodman Lynn.
That's right.
And she actually passed away in 2011, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and she had quite a fight, and she put this together, and you are now the Cycle ambassador, which, so
self-appointed.
Exactly, but I love that. So would you tell us a little bit about Jen and your story with her?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Jennifer Goodman Lynn was my colleague, friend in high school, and we did fundraising even back then for the Rotary Club and Kiwanis. We'd go trick-or-treating together was my biggest memory with her, and she was always a very ambitious person. She went to Duke. She went to Harvard later after working at McKinsey and Co. And she just knew how to network and get ahead and seek her eyes on something and go get it. But also had an amazing heart. Worked for Make-A-Wish Foundation for a long time as well. And after she got married, she felt like something was tugging at her stomach, and she went to the doctor, and they did a whole body scan of her, and they said, "Do you know that you have a tumor the size of a football?" And she said, "No, if I did, I'd be doing something about it."
Exactly.
And once they did the surgery and took it out, they realized she had a very rare form of cancer called sarcoma, and there wasn't a lot of research and treatment for that. She did undergo 6 surgeries and 10 to 12 different treatments.
Okay.
And unfortunately lost her battle. But she kept saying, you know, she's a very inspirational person. She kept saying, you know, I have cancer, but cancer doesn't have me.
Right. Yeah.
And she was determined to fight it, and we'll tell you a little bit about how she started Cycle for Survival.
Yeah, so she wanted to do something to make a difference in her fight and help others while she was trying to help herself, right?
Yes.
And so that's what we're here to talk about, is Cycle for Survival. And so why don't you tell us what that is?
Sure. So it's one of the fastest growing athletic fundraisers in the country. And Jennifer said that the doctors were there to take care of her physical body, but mentally she found an affinity to cycling. Every time she would ride that bike and climb that hill, it felt like her battle.
Right.
So she had an idea with these friends. She said, "I want to give back to the doctors and I want to give back to other people." And she started this event with 50 bikes. Only 50 bikes in New York City, and they raised $250,000.
Amazing.
And then the next year they did a morning shift and an afternoon shift and doubled the bikes. And they raised, I think, $600,000.
Wow.
So by the third year, her and her husband were like, "We want this to get bigger. We want to touch as many people as possible." They went right to Memorial Sloan Kettering. He also went to Harvard too, so he was very smart too. And they said, "We're going to grow this with the help of a large organization that can put this out and have greater impact." They also went to Equinox and said, "Hey, do you know we're doing this every year? You could make this your charitable event."
Right.
So with teaming up with Equinox and Memorial Sloan Kettering, this fundraiser has grown and grown to achieving $140 million since 2007. Amazing. In the last 4 years alone, they raised $110 million.
Wow.
And a lot of it is word of mouth, and a lot of it is just the way you feel after you participate or while you're participating. It is very much Jen's personality of vibrance, dancing, music, celebrating life. So people either ride for someone who's battling now, someone they lost to honor, or as a corporate event. And if I can get one person to donate today or ride or get a team together, I want to continue Jen's legacy of helping other people.
Well, that's amazing, because I just want to say that Rita is a Wyckoff mom. And I too am a Wyckoff mom, and it's very special to have you on. And I believe how this community comes together, that you are going to get some people to ride and be a part of this. And Bergen County. And the reach is endless, really, here on Facebook. So hopefully you can truly make a difference. And, you know, the passion and the adrenaline and what goes into it, and then what you receive from it, is pretty powerful. So I really love what you're doing.
Well, the event is right here in Paramus on February 11th. You can do a morning shift or an afternoon shift. And it's so simple, because you just register, raise money, and ride. Now, I'm not a rider. I don't love cycling. Some people love cycling, but I can cycle that day. And it's probably, like you said, the adrenaline. And it's in that 4 hours, you can cycle for 15 minutes and then hand it over to your friend, which is what I do, who like loves the 40-minute sprints. But you're just, you can rotate. It's like a relay. So you can do 15, I'll do the next 15,
That's
and then
pretty
switch
cool.
on and off. And most people are like, can I stay the rest of the day because I want to watch? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is your event.
So, well, let's go back to how you can get involved. I'm sure there's a number of ways you can get involved as a rider, you know, donation, organization. So let's talk about that.
So you can go to cycleforsurvival.org. You can register a team. You can donate to a team. You can read the stories of why people are riding. So if you have an affinity.
So even if you don't want to do it, you could just donate for towards a team.
Ladies of the Court is my team. It's made up of a neighborhood of women in Wyckoff, but there's also Jennifer Goodman-Lynn's bike that people raise for. So you can just sign up, register a team of your own. You only need 5 or 6 people. You can have virtual riders, or just make a donation in memory of someone.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Lots of corporations do double matching as well. So that's another way to get more bang for your buck.
Right.
But the most important thing, because I know everyone is being asked to donate, whether it's for your child's sports or unfortunate victims in Puerto Rico or Texas.
I know there's so much going on right now.
Unfortunately, there's a lot going on, but I can tell you that every dollar goes right to research. So 6 months after the event, your money is being placed to helping other people, and you can read about where your money went, what treatments are happening because of it, and that is what makes this different than other organizations that fundraise.
So you can read the stories. That's what differentiates it.
You can read about the clinical developments and research that's being done because of the money that you donated.
Wow. So, you know, you talked about the signups and all, and so you just go online and do that. And so you need to have 5 to 6 people, or you could have more?
Or if you like to ride, you can ride the whole, 2 people can do
2 sets of rides. There's no amount. How long is the ride? Let's start
4 hours.
4 hours.
So an 8 to 12 shift or 1 to 4 shift. All
right. And then, so that's what you're splitting up, or if you can, you could do the whole 4 hours yourself.
I mean, I know some people who cycle every day. They're like, I could do a whole hour by myself. I'm like, okay. So yes, you could do that.
So then if you did 1 hour yourself and everyone else could do an hour, then you'd have 4 people.
That's right.
So all right. And
some people say I want to join, but I just want to fundraise. I don't want to ride that day. And they're like my virtual team member.
Oh, I see. So that's the virtual team member. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit more about the event. So that is February 11th. And that's in Paramus. That's Equinox in Paramus?
That's an Equinox in Paramus. And then there's one in Summit, also in New Jersey, February 3rd, and then there are a few in Manhattan. The Rockefeller Center, Metropolitan Pavilion, Bryant Park, East 43rd.
Okay.
There's definitely a different vibe in New York City.
Yeah.
They do an event every year also in the middle of Times Square where everyone's riding, the signs on the
I
billboard.
think I've seen that. Yeah, that's
and you're
pretty
just,
cool.
you know, shaking your pom-poms in the middle. So they are now, I want to say, 16 to 20 different locations. that you
Okay,
can
so
go.
when is the first event that's coming up?
The first one is January 28th in Seattle.
Okay, so the first one's January 28th. When's the first one here on the East Coast?
On the East Coast is February 3rd in Summit.
Okay, and how many, the dates that you're talking about are all dates that are happening in the next year,
Yep.
but not on necessarily on the East Coast. They're all over.
Yes, they're across the country.
So you could find those on the website.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so cycleforsurvival.com or .org. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you can
Yeah.
look those up
Look it
and it's across the country.
Across the country, there's even sites that aren't listed, but just so you know, it has gone international.
Wow, that's
I mean, there's people
great.
riding in the UK and in
Mhm.
Asia. A lot of it, like you said, is word of mouth and the power of the internet.
Yes.
You know, people sharing their stories, showing their photos of the event, and it has really helped. This is a great version of exploitation, right?
Right.
Is, you know, to exploit good in the world,
Yes.
and how much this is helping people.
Well, it's in this day and age especially, let's do as much good as possible because we need to hear some good stories right now. The other thing you had touched on is matching an organization. So how can you reach your organization or your company to help?
So your company can either, if you sponsor a team or make a donation, you can check to see if they have a gift matching program. Also, if your company is looking to do something fun or team building with your sales department, your marketing department, this is a great way to give back.
Yeah.
And also to get the team energized about each other and supporting. Sadly, we've all been impacted by cancer in some way or another or know someone.
Yeah.
And 50% of the people that have cancer have a rare form of cancer. And this is really geared to helping those people with this rare form of cancer, which is a pediatric lymphoma, brain, that don't get a lot of funding.
Right.
So you want to be able to do that as a team, as a corporate organization, and show that you're making a difference.
Right. And like you said, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are being affected even today and probably are looking for a way to give back and bring good out of what's happening. So,
and when you hear the testimonials, because while you're riding, there are people there sharing their stories of why they're riding.
Oh,
It's
wow.
called Why Do I Ride?
Yeah.
And there's all these boards where you can write notes
Oh,
to
wow.
people. And there are a lot of tears, I'm not gonna lie. There's laughter and exhilaration, but there's also tears for the people who have come and gone. And then there's the celebration with the doctors of Memorial Sloan Kettering when you see the milestone they've been able to achieve because of the money. So
yeah, that's
tears
awesome.
of joy and sadness.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing about Cycle
Thank
for
you so
Survival
much. Thank you.
and making a difference and
you.
carrying on Jen's legacy.
Thank
so
you.
thank you so much. You guys sign up for Cycle for Survival, get a team together, make a difference. And we will have this show on Wipe Off Moms also and a number of places so you can gather the information, okay? You got it. So thank you all for tuning in and we'll see you soon.
Coffee with Marci was sponsored by Advanced Gynecology and Laparoscopy of North Jersey.